Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Nash from Tesla in the Wrong. Today we're going to install a Tesla roof rack on a Tesla Model 3. This is the older version of the Tesla Model 3. This is the 2019 version of the car, but it does fit on the newer versions of the car as well in exactly the same fashion, because the roof mount is actually mounted onto the chassis of the roof and not on the glass, although it looks like it goes on the glass. We'll show all that in just a bit on our Tesla Model 3. And this is the roof rack system which we bought from Tesla itself. I believe, although this is sold by Tesla, this is made by Yakima, I think. So don't hold me to it, but I think that's what it is. But Tesla sells it, but you can't buy it from anywhere else. The reason why I mentioned that is you can actually buy all the accessories that go on this from Yakima, and that is why I wanted to mention that. I'm pretty sure it's Yakima. Okay, let's do a quick unboxing. So this is the actual roof rack. We'll pull this off. There are a few things to look at. We'll come back to the actual mounts in just a bit. We'll look at some of the accessories that are there in this. It comes with a few things. What is inside the box? I've just done a quick unboxing for you. So these are the actual hooks, and as you can see, this will be hooking onto the roof chassis, and I'll show you how that works, or the roof metal, but not on the glass. So I'll show you how this works. They have given some Allen keys for us to tighten the bolts that come here, and I'll show you how that is done. There is a specific Newton meter of torque that should be applied, but we'll use the Allen key, or if you have your own wrench, you can use that too. Now this is a sliding plastic. I'll show you how this works as well. There is a lock for the racks. They have a tape, and then there are these rubber, they call the rubber feet, or the rubber gaskets as they call them. There are different sizes, as you can see, 2 different sizes, and we'll show you how this works. And the actual bolts that hold the rack in place, and the covers come here. But there's also something else. There is a transparent sticker that they've given with arrow marks, and each one shows you where it goes, and I'll show you why these arrow marks are important when we see the actual roof itself. Now these are optional things. If you have a wrench, particularly a wrench which has a Newton meter on it, I don't have that. I do have just the normal wrench. But if you have a wrench which has a pressure gauge in it, it really helps. But you really don't need it. I'll show you why you don't need it in just a bit. We can just use the Allen key to tighten it, and you can still do what you have to do. And a plastic spudger will be nice, because there is a rubber gasket just underneath the glass. We just want to lift it up a little bit before we slide this plastic in, and we'll show you how that is done in just a bit. Now, coming onto the glass, this is what I was talking about. You see there is a small little arrow, and it's pointing towards the bottom of the screen on the glass itself. It is there on all 4 sides. This is where you have to align that sticker I talked about. I'm just moving the camera up and down so that the arrow is best seen. I'll show it to you on the other places as well. This is that same arrow on the driver's side, or the right side front, and a similar one is there on the opposite ends as well. Okay, now let's lay this out, because it's much easier if we lay this out and find out how this works. It's reasonably straightforward. So these stickers have the car diagram in them, and the V in front of the car says that this is the front end of the car, and that is the front end of the car. So these are the 4 stickers there, and corresponding to each of them, you can see on the gasket as well, on the rubber feet as well, you can see there is a arrow which is at the bottom there, and this wheel is indented, very similar to this picture as well. You see, so this one is the same as this one, so these 2 will go together. So this must be on the driver's side. For us here in Australia, this is the driver's side, or the right side of the car. This will go to the left side of the car, this will go to the left rear, and this will go to the right rear, and that corresponds to these gaskets. So you can see this is corresponding to this here, this one corresponds to this here, and this one corresponds to this here. Super easy. Now we're just going to peel this sticker off. As you can see, this is a transparent sticker. Sorry. So we're just going to peel this sticker off from here. As you can see, this is a transparent sticker. There you go. But it does have that arrow mark there. So that arrow is right there, as you can see. And this arrow is going to be aligned to this arrow here. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do, this one comes here, and it aligns to this arrow right there. So we're going to stick this on the on the metal, but with the arrow pointing to this arrow. So these two arrows must align with each other. Remove off any of the bubbles, but that will go away anyways, but that's it. That's the first step. Arrow pointing to this arrow, aligning with each other. Right, now we're going to use this plastic thingy to get underneath the rubber gasket. You can see the rubber gasket right there. Now, if it is difficult to put the plastic into the rubber gasket, you can use this spudger to pull this forward a little bit, and then it'll help you. But sometimes it may be easy just putting it in as well. Just we're going to push this like that and just pull that like that. So this is what we're doing. Just pulling this like so to get a little bit of the rubber off. So this is just to pull the rubber out of the way, because you're going to push the hook into this place right here, and it'll go and attach onto the chassis on the underneath, not on the glass. So you can actually feel that too. Just to pull this gasket out is what you're using this plastic for. Now we're going to just pull this forward a little bit towards this side. That'll expose that gap, and then we're going to use the hook and going to push the hook inside in a fashion like so. Just push this in here like that, and then slide it underneath there. You slide it underneath there. There's no directionality or any front back for this hooks. All hooks are the same, so you can use any of them. You push that there, and you can see that it locks in place. You can actually feel that it is not going onto the glass, but it's going onto the actual chassis. You can actually feel that a little bit, and these arrows sort of align, and now you can remove this tool out, and this is how it stands. Okay, now that we have this in place, we just pull this forward so that the arrows align to this little protrusion in the clip, and then we'll have to use the front pad, which aligns here and goes in like that and falls on the sticker that we placed there. So this is how we do this. So this is done. So this is for the front right side or the driver's side here in Australia, but it's the same or in any car anywhere in the world. Even if it's a left-hand drive car, this is the right side of the car, and this is how we do. That tire is indented. That means it's the right front tire, and this is the front right of the vehicle. Now we are on the left front side, and you can see the two arrows pointing, and that is the sticker we've already placed. Now we're going to do the hook again. One more time, pulling that forward. I've just inserted that clip, or I don't know, whatever this is called, the clip plastic, and we're going to push this in like that, and then slide it under like that. Then it goes and latches there, and then the clip holder can then be slowly rocked out from that place. There we go. Okay, this is the actual rack itself, the rack mount. Great construction. It is anodized aluminum. It's got a rubber lining in between, and there is a sticker which says point forward. So this is how it must be pointing. So when you mount this must be pointing forward, and that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go and place this on top like that, just aligning with that. And on the other side too, that'll go and align with that. And I will go and adjust it on each side just a bit. That's one go. So there it is. They must sit flush with the gasket there on both sides. So we just make sure that it's sitting flush, and that thread should come out a little bit. It needs a little bit of nudging here and there. So if you have two people, actually it makes the life easier when you have somebody else slightly nudging this to sit in place, and it completely sits flush with the base there, and the thread comes out there. We'll talk about this. This is the lock. We'll do that later. And now we are good to go and screw that in place. Right here. So we have the nut which goes onto that screw, and we have the Allen keys that they have given us. So we're going to go and tighten this. Tesla says you need to have about 5 or 6 Newton meters of torque to tighten this. If you have the wrench, that makes it easy, but if you don't have the wrench, I'm just going to use the feel of my hand. I'll tell you how it's done. If there are mechanics out there, they can probably correct me, and if they want to add a comment, I'm more than happy to pin that comment. I use the Allen key, but not in this configuration, because then you don't get the give in your hand when you're tightening it. So I use the Allen key in this configuration, so that when it goes in, you can actually feel the give, and when it's tight enough, you can actually feel it tightening. So as you move, you can feel it tightening a little bit, and then you come and you tighten this. Once you tighten it to a fair degree, you can actually see this line lining up with a line over there. So when this line lines up to that, I think you're good enough, and you can feel that it's nice and tight. The reason why we have to be careful about this nut and how much torque you give is you don't want to put too much of pressure on the glass. And once you lock this, you cannot untwist this. You'll have to unlock this to untwist this. And even when you remove it, you have to first unlock this. And that is why we have to be careful. So once you get that feel that it cannot move any further, I think that is reasonably good enough. But if you have the wrench with the torque meter, please use that. Okay, now we come to the next step. This is the actual key to lock this. So we use the key in here to lock this in place. So you go and turn that, and that will lock this, and now you can't untwist this. If you want to untwist this nut, you'll have to unlock before you untwist. And now we are happy to put this cover slip on top. This is just a high-grade tough plastic cover slip. There are hooks here, very simple, just press them in place and they lock. That's it. Same drill, lock this in place. Once the lock is done, you snap that on and that's done. Right, and then we are happy to remove the sticker off because you need to have that grip. So we just take this off completely. There you go. Okay, now we're going to do the rear mount now. Same drill, we do the sticker first. Just be aware that this sticker is actually smaller, so it's easy to recognize that this is the rear and not the front. So we just go and align that arrow to arrow right there, and then we go to do the next steps. There we go, we have the last one mounted as well. A small pro tip, in case you can't see the thread and this is not completely aligning with the bottom, don't try to pull or yank or anything of that sort. Just adjust the bottom gasket just a little bit here and there, and then it just slides in place. It's quite simple, so you don't have to yank it. Just use your fingers at the back like that and just just adjust the gasket a little bit, and once it fits all the way through, it's a nice snug fit. Even without the lock on, you can see it doesn't move at all. Even here, it's quite sturdy. So it is a snug fit. I'm just going to lift this up to show you how this works. When it goes and fills, it is a very snug fit. Now I just want to show you how to remove this. If you want to remove this, you have to slide your hand underneath that and then pull it out. That's how you do this. So if you want to put this in place, you just knock this. To remove it, pull this out. Go. There you go, that's it. This is how you mount the Tesla-made roof racks. Really straightforward. I'll give it a difficulty score of 1 on 5. It's really straightforward. The instructions are there. I've given you some pro tips as well. Now do install it and leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you have anything you want clarified, please leave your comments and I'll do answer them in a timely fashion. Now there are other DIY upgrade videos on my channel. We do a lot of them for both Tesla-made and non-Tesla-made third-party upgrade hardware, software, the whole works. Do check them out. There are playlists for them as well. And I also do review videos of both Tesla and non-Tesla EVs too. I'll see you guys in another interesting video very soon. This is Nash from Tesla and the Gong, signing off. Peace.